Man, it feels good to be sitting in front of y'all with a win. I tell you, probably one of the worst first quarters of offensive football I've seen in a long time. And, you know, I thought our defense did a phenomenal job in those first three series of keeping points off the board. But, you know, we got to find a way to start fast on offense. Came out at halftime and started slow for the first series there, and you know, found a way to hit an explosive, backed up. But Utah did a very nice job. Utah State, did a very nice job of playing, you know, keeping us winning the field position battle early. You know, we were playing backed up football for a while there, and you know, those are tough scenarios. Percentages are very low to get points, and you know, we just had to grind that out mentally. And I thought our offense did a phenomenal job of doing just that. You know, just staying within the game plan, but staying with belief in their hearts, and playing with the purpose out there today. And you know, I'm just proud of those guys, man. They've earned this victory, and you know, we got to get back to work and flush this one and get ready for Army. You know, but they come hard, so I'm gonna let these boys celebrate that one tonight. So, with that being said, questions you have for me?
Stan, what did that field goal do?
Man, it really took a lot of momentum into the locker room for halftime, for sure. Our players have seen them hit that field goal quite a few times in practice, you know, and you know, so we know when we get around that area of the field. I'm glad the scenario played out the way it did, and our offense did a great job of putting us in field goal position. But you're still on the 45-yard line at that point, and you know, we've just seen him hit that so many times, so it became a little bit of normalcy for us. But to actually see it happen in the game is something special, you know, and I understand there's a lot of records that come with that, so I don't want to undermine it. You know, you have to do it under pressure, and he did that. So that says a lot about that young man.
How valuable? You talked about Evan's experience, his moxie, that's a word that you use a lot. Is that what he's giving you in these situations? You guys fall behind 14-0. You start off 1 of 8 passing for 12 yards, but he stayed composed and ends up putting up some really good numbers today.
I mean, he's just one of those guys that just, you know, you try to figure him out. If you try to look at all the athletic attributes and, you know, the arm talent and all that stuff, what people forget to look at is the heart. I mean, he's got a real chip on his shoulder, and, you know, he loves the game and he loves the people around him, and he's just got this knack for encouraging his teammates in good and bad times. I mean, he keeps them focused when things are going well, and, you know, he keeps them encouraged when things are not going so well. So he's exactly what we need right now, you know, especially on the offensive side of the ball. He just kind of gives a sense of calm for the people around him.
How valuable was Therese for you guys today? He obviously had that big run on the kickoff that set you guys up field goal range, had that big run on third down too. Just how big was he for you guys today?
Huge. You know, he's the guy who set up the field goal. You know what I mean? He's a dynamic football player that we had not been able to find ways to cut him loose. And, you know, today was his game where we had to get on the perimeter in the run game. You know, they were really stout up front. They had some really good linebackers inside that off of film, you just see them pulling off of double teams because they were such an attacking style. So we knew we had to get the ball on the perimeter, and he's a guy that's probably the fastest guy on our football team. You know, I know everybody wants to think about Ashton Allen, but that kick, and we don't know how fast he is. And to see him come to the game ready mentally and physically, and, you know, protect the ball, that was the one thing that kept him off the field leading up into this game, was his inability to protect the ball consistently. And the way he carried the ball today was, you know, makes me feel comfortable. So we know what his playmaking ability is, and we need to find a role for him on this offense for sure.
How about the way your defense was in the second half, shut down Utah State?
Yeah, I mean, they played great in spots. You know what I mean? They really did. I mean, to start the game off, I mean, they kept points off the board. That was huge for us, right? And then there's times where, you know, I don't know how many 3-and-outs they were, but there were quite a bit of them, you know, in that second half there. And, you know, it's just credit to really our D-line. That's where it starts, right? You got Trill and Demerick that are in the trenches that are doing a great job of stopping and stalemating the line of scrimmage. I mean, they had a really good back now. You know, that guy's from Pottstown. I tried to get him in cherry and white, and it didn't work out, but he's the real deal, and he's hard to tackle. You got a receiver in number 1 that's out there for Utah State, who's a top, you know, 1, 2, or 3 round pick. Now he's legit, you know, and a lot of speed coming out of 23. So we had some concerns, but to see our defense secondary, really canceled some of those deep threats out and played the deep ball pretty well, except for the 1P at the end of the game. That's what helps set up the success up front, is playing good back-end play. So credit to those guys for sure.
Stan, what was the deal with Dante Wright? First half, I don't know, he's just not there to fair catch, and then he obviously could run.
Yeah, well, we didn't know if Dante was gonna be ready for us to play. We didn't. We had a situation on Wednesday where, we thought that, a little bit of a setback with a leg injury that we didn't know if we were gonna have him or not, and he just looked at us in our face, in our eye, and kept saying, I'm good. It's hard. You gotta know Dante, because Dante is such an unassuming and very low-key, very laid-back guy. So even when he says I'm good, I'm like, damn, should I be confident in that? I don't know. And then it got to the point where it was, I'm telling you, I'm good. That conviction right there was enough to put me in the ball game, and boy, I'm glad we did.
It's
That's
finally
what
got.
Evan did against the blitz too. A lot of times when they brought pressure, he responded really well to it.
Yeah, I mean, we really practiced a lot. A huge percentage of our practice reps were against pressure. We knew that they were a pressure football team. We actually probably practiced against it a little bit more than what we saw today, but yeah, the way they time up their pressures, it could have been an issue for us. So we had to have answers, but how do you prepare our team mentally is just show them a lot of it. And I'm really proud of our offensive line and really our quarterback getting us in the right calls when they did put the pressure calls to real life on us. So it was good to see that happening out there.
Do you have an update on Antoine Littleton? I know he took that hit late in the game, kind of got up a little slow.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, do you have an update on him?
Not yet. I do not. No.
You guys finally got that turnover. How big was that, just to kind of get that off your chest, kind of?
No, man, you have no idea. There's a lot of stuff on my chest that I'm able to get off right now. But that's huge. I hope it sparks something. There's other opportunities out there. But I did see guys attacking the football, trying to rally to the football, and hold back ball carriers up and backs up and try to rip. I see that happening. But to get one by way of an interception was huge. Especially at that point of the game, it was huge.
You said recently that you wanted to get the tight ends involved in that big way today. First with establishing JP, and then the touchdowns to Peter and Daniel on good throws. What did that mean to you, just to get those, kind of just get that going?
I love touchdowns. I'm not real picky about how we get them. Really excited about how Daniel gets out there for the first time. He's had a setback. He's had a broken hand since camp, and for him to get out there and play some real ball, kid from Germany getting his first opportunity to catch a touchdown as a tight end for Temple, that's huge for him and this football team. And Peter is another guy who we're just getting back off of a setback. Catches a phenomenal, pass from our quarterback and for a touchdown. So, it's good to be able to be multidimensional. I mean, you said 5 different people,
Six different
people scored today. And to me, that's a balanced attack, and I think that's saying a lot about our quarterback. Distributing the ball in the right spots for the right calls, and just those players being ready to make a play when the numbers call. So it's good all around.
Stan, how big of a momentum shift was that fake punt that Utah State lined up for that they got called for a penalty? Because it seemed like they might have had a big game, maybe even a touchdown.
Yeah, we weren't ready for it. So it was huge that the penalty took place. I mean, it's unfortunate for them. I get it. But man, it was a learning lesson for us. It's a matter of identifying the formation. It wasn't like that guy was lined up as a receiver. He was an eligible tackle, and that's formation awareness, and that's something that defense and punt return, they have to be aware of that all the time, and they caught us slipping. So that's going to be a great learning experience for us. But we'll definitely learn from that.
Kind of going along with that, just no self-inflicted wounds really today. That what kind of has been the attention to detail the last couple of weeks and cleaning that up from the first 2 games.
Well, it's just been able to reflect on why you're 0-3 before you went into this game. It's just like, how many times you want to do that to yourself, right? So it's a matter of, do you have a real purpose and a real, reason why you're out there playing, so that things like that don't get in the way. And it just requires requires focus and discipline. And that is something that every one of my football players are capable of doing. You know, we just have to be a lot more consistent at it. And for them to put the focus on just those things today and be able to execute it was definitely the step in the right direction. So I'm proud of those guys for that.
Did you know it was Evan early in the week? Did you know it was gonna be going with Evan early in the week?
Yes, sir. We did.
After what he showed you today, is it his job to lose now?
Well, we're gonna evaluate that every single day, but I mean, I tell you what, you know, he is playing good football for us right now. And he's bringing exactly what we need from a demeanor standpoint, you know, and, you know, we're always gonna have a next man up mentality. You have to here, you know, at Temple, just everybody has to be ready when their number is called, and no one can get complacent. So I'm never going to, you know, put a name in concrete like that guy is the absolute starter. You know, it's something about competition and earning it every week that makes a player better, right? And so I'm not writing Forrest off, but, you know, Forrest got some work to do. There's no question about it. We're liking the rhythm that Evan has us in right now.
What has changed for him? I mean, obviously, you said Forrest won that job for a reason. So I get to show that in practice. I think I asked this before. Is Evan one of those guys that takes a little while, and then once he gets into the game, like just the better parts of him come out once he's on the
You know, I'm learning Evan. You know,
Hey, Coach.
how you doing, bud?
Good, how are you?
You know, I love Evan. You know, again, there's no one that is strong-willed more so than that young man right there. You know, Evan. You know, and there's something to be said for that. You can look at all the measurables and athletic attributes, but again, like I said earlier, somebody need to open that kid's chest up and look at his heart. You know, it's as big as this stadium, and he's tough as nails, and he's got something to prove, and that's the reason why we wanted him here in the very first place, because he had a chip on his shoulder. I probably asked you that, Evan, 3 or 4 times in the recruiting process. You got a real chip, or is that chip sharp? You know, and we need that coming out of our quarterbacks. So he provides that for us.
Okay,
All right.
thanks, Coach.
Thank you.